Hey everybody.
Hey.
It's been a while since we've made a video. It seems to be a theme with our videos, but we're happy to be able to share with you a little bit of what's been going on in our life for I think about 2 months it's been since we've made the last video. So here you go. So first things first, we have a baby. So that's a new thing for sure. Warwick Allen Scott was born on May 9th, and so he has been a huge source of joy. He's over here sleeping in his chair right now, so we're happy that he's sleeping right now. He's very cooperative when it comes to us making videos so far, so just pray that that'll keep happening. But yeah, he's great. We love him so much. He is just such a source of joy in our lives. We've spent the last couple weeks or so, more than maybe a couple weeks, getting used to a new rhythm of life with him in the mix, and he's been great. Eliana has loved being like a second mom to him in the home. She loves to help, maybe a little too much, but that's okay. We'll take that. So yeah, work has been great. We have been doing all the things outside of just enjoying him and his presence, of making sure he's legal here, getting him a visa and getting him a passport and getting all of the government procedures done as well. That has not been the most fun thing to do in the world, but we are complete at this point outside of his social security number, but we're working on that right now.
Yes.
So he is doing well outside of just a little bit of sickness that he has had recently. This last week, he's come down with RSV, and so we've been taking good care of him and trying to just make him as comfortable as possible so that he can heal. And so it's been not the most fun experience the last couple of days, but God has seen us through. He's given us grace, and we're just thankful that we live in a country where we have accessible medical assistance if it's needed, and right now he doesn't need it, so we're very thankful for that. So thank you for everybody who generously provided meals either here in country for us or by sending donations through other platforms online so that we can order food and have it delivered to our house. That was a huge blessing, and we are so thankful for those of you who helped us out in that way. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Yeah. And lately, Eliana has been really growing into her big sister role and loving it. It's been hard for her to stay out of baby brother's face as they've both been sick. Eliana also has been sick on and off over the last month or so, just bringing home stuff from Yochien, from kindergarten. And thankfully, she is also on the mend and doing much better. And so both of them are recovering well. We're grateful for that. And with that, Eliana is back at Yochien. She is adjusting to the school environment there. She has a lot to learn still with the language, which we do too. But she's overall doing really well. I think our main prayer request would be for her to play with other Japanese speaking children. It seems that she tends to look for others who are kind of like her from a different country, who have more of a higher chance maybe of speaking English, so she can just speak her own language with them. She's very smart in that way. So I think our request would be just that she feels more at home and is able to play with all of the children in her class and feel like she is a friend and just enjoy going to school. That can take some time, and we know that from last year's experience, but we're also encouraged by last year's experience. She walked away with a couple of really close friends by the end of the year, and that's our prayer for her this year as well.
That's
as
right.
She adjusts.
Yeah, just a little story. I recently took Eliana out maybe a couple days ago to a couple different parks around our house, and so that's one of her favorite things to do is to go outside and go to the parks. And while we were at one of the parks, she looked up at me and said, "All right, I'm going to make a friend today." So I'm going to go out and who's going to be my friend was what she was saying, like contemplating to herself. And so she's not afraid to make friends. And so it's interesting because at school she has a little bit more trouble, but whenever she's out and about at parks and just kind of on her own time, she has no problem going up to different people and trying to speak in Japanese to them. So just pray she would have that same attitude at school as well. And so just to kind of piggyback off of that, like that attitude that she has of just going up to people and saying, I'm going to make a friend today. It's like, that's an inspiring attitude for me, at least, to have. Is like, when we're going to the park, it's like, all right, I need to make a friend. Who's going to be my friend today? And along with that, just being more and more willing and comfortable in speaking in Japanese. And so that is growing more and more. I think for both of us, we're feeling more and more comfortable using the language with people more than just basic facts, but actually trying to have a back and forth conversation with people and not freaking out in the moment about that. I mean, obviously, there are times when we still don't know what in the world somebody is talking about, but we feel, I think, equipped to be able to figure out what are you talking about without, freezing up. So we're thankful for that progress that we've made. And so we have begun language classes back from a leave that we had after Warwick was born. And so I've been taking private lessons right now alongside a spiritual vocabulary class. And so in that class, we've been learning a lot about words, spiritual words that are used in the Bible and then in Japanese churches, and then kind of the differences between what typical Japanese people know about spiritual vocabulary and then maybe what they don't. And so there are definitely words like that in English too, where it's like if you've been in church or been a Christian for a while, you have spiritual vocabulary from the English Bible that if you used in normal conversation, that people would look at you like, what in the world are you talking about? And that dynamic exists here in Japan as well, in the Japanese language, but even more so just because Christianity is a lot less popular here. So I've been in that class, learning those things, learning prayer, how to pray more effectively in Japanese, and then also writing a very short testimony to be able to have memorized and share with people if that comes up and I have the opportunity to share. So I've been really enjoying that class. It's been really beneficial for me so far. And so Melissa is also resuming private lessons right now. And that's the mode that she'll continue on with for the foreseeable future. But next month, I'll resume classes at our Japanese school that we've been attending for the last year that we've been here. And so I've got about 4 or 5 more classes at that, month-long classes at that school before I'll transition towards more private lessons. And so just pray that the Lord would continue blessing those efforts and we'd see more and more fruit. Melissa recently had an evaluation done, and according to our supervisors, they indicated that based on her progress that she's made, she might be around halfway done with the language learning process as a full-time endeavor. And so we're very thankful for that news. I'm waiting to hear my results back from my evaluation. And so if you could just continue praying for that, we don't want to be full-time language students forever. We're happy to do that right now, but we want that period to come to an end at some point so that we can be more effective in the reason why we believe God has called us to live here. And so we're thankful for the time we have to learn that language, but if we can get to a point to where we feel more and more comfortable to kind of be self-sufficient in our language learning without being full-time, we would be really thankful for that. So, like I said, thank you so much for y'all's consistent prayers for us in making progress, because I believe we are. So,
yes, thank you for praying, and continue to pray just for the private tutors that we have. Things change, and constantly it's important for us to keep our eyes open and try to figure out, okay, Lord, who do you have for us in this season to learn with? And so he's provided for right now for this season, but just pray because that may change in a couple of months. We may need just some alternatives. And so just pray that God provides the exact tutors or senseis that we need in just the right timing, and that we're able to learn all that we can with those specific people. And I think that given the ones that we've been learning with lately, I think both of us have grown a lot in our language learning, and so we're really grateful for that.
For sure.
Another recent thing with Eliana's change in her school, I became a volunteer for a Natsu Matsuri, which is a summer festival. And so I have been going to different meetings about once a week to prepare different things for the summer festival that will happen on July 14th. And it's a big thing, and everything is handcrafted. And so I was even there this morning making some things for the festival. And it's a fun thing, but it is very time consuming. A good part about it is I get to spend time with other Yochian moms, getting to know them, and getting to use the language. And so that has been a really good thing for me. Just there are a lot of moms in Eliana's school and from her class, and she has a lot of classmates at this school, and so there are a lot of moms to meet. But being a part of this particular event has allowed me to meet with a smaller number of them and focus in on just a few, and that has been a bit more manageable than trying to learn 25 people's names just out of nowhere. So another thing with that, though, I was able to go a week ago to a lunch where about 75% of the moms attended a lunch together. And we had a 4 or 5 course, very Japanese style meal, and it was really, really good. But the time with the other moms was also really enriching. And I was able to use the language and practice listening and comprehending what other moms were saying, and even get to know some of their names and their kids' names. And I was really grateful for that opportunity. So just continue to pray for us as Eliana attends this school that is close to home, that we would be able to connect with more families who are in our immediate vicinity, right here in our neighborhood, so that we can befriend them and ultimately be able to share Christ with them.
Yeah, that's why we're here. We want to build relationships with people. We want to continue doing that as much as we can with the language knowledge that we have. And so far, God has definitely brought people into our path to get to know people and build relationships with those families, and have opportunities to share with them why we're here and why we decided to move to Japan, which is to tell people about Jesus Christ and how much He has changed our lives, how much hope He has given to us, and how much that is offered freely to other people as well, no matter where you're from around the world and no matter who you are. So that is our hope in this season, that God would continue giving us more opportunities to let people know that message in a way that is winsome and loving. So we are so thankful for you to be able to know how to pray for us, but also just to let you know of the ways that God has answered your prayers and our prayers in this time, these last 2 months. And so God really helped us in the whole process with Warwick and him coming into the world, through the hospital stay and through the language barrier that was there, and through all of the different things that had to happen in that endeavor. So it is all because of God and how He has helped us and seen us through those things. But we are so thankful to know that we have the support and love and care of our friends in America and all around the world, wherever you are watching this and praying for us. So thank you so much for all of those things. And hopefully we will give you another update on how things are going sooner than in 2 months. So we're so thankful for you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.